There's no avoiding it. SUVs are far thirstier than regular vehicles. This is why, out of all the body styles currently available, SUVs seem to be the most hybrid heavy, which is a good call, as it helps with power, efficiency, smoothness, and ease of use, both in and outside of the city. That said, not all SUVs are made equal, and some of them are much better than others, offering greater reliability, range, and power than others. Today, we'll be taking a look at the greatest of them. So buckle up as we take you through the top 6 best hybrid SUVs with insane gas mileage this year. Number 6. Toyota RAV4. The RAV4 might be an old dog in a segment dominated by more modern offerings. However, it still embodies one of the best opportunities to buy into a hybrid crossover SUV and get the most out of your money. Sure, its interior design is dated by modern-day standards, and the exterior does stand out from Toyota's current lineup. However, the RAV4, despite being on the market for more than half a decade, still manages to offer one of the most frugal powertrains in the segment, while also being the most reliable of the bunch. The reason behind this is the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine that has been widely regarded as one of the most frugal engines, while its traditional simplicity allows it to literally do hundreds of thousands of miles with only basic maintenance. The Toyota RAV4 Hybrid can do up to 41 mpg around town and up to 39 mpg on the open road, which is exceptional for an SUV of its size that comes with standard AWD. So, if you're up for a safe choice that will run for years to come and will retain its value exceptionally well, and don't mind trading the latest word of tech and design, then we'd suggest you just go right ahead and buy the RAV4. But if you do have a knack for more refined and more modern vehicles, then this next pick might be for you. Number 5. Hyundai Tucson. The Hyundai Tucson's current generation has been a true revolution for the brand, as it was the first model that successfully shed the image of cheaply built Korean cars. Not only is the Tucson not cheaply made, but it is one of the nicest designed and best built vehicles in its segment. The Tucson's exterior was radically gorgeous back when it was first introduced, and even today it remains a sight to behold on the streets, as despite being sold by the millions, the Tucson remains one of the most stunning compact crossover SUVs out there. In addition to that, the interior of the Tucson is something we would definitely call borderline luxurious. You get a nicely styled dashboard, premium materials, a gorgeous single-piece gauge cluster, and infotainment screen that is so elegantly flush, and everything seems to have been designed with extreme thought and care. And the Tucson is nothing short of a masterpiece in terms of how reliable it is. While still being a little less impressive than the Toyota RAV4, the Tucson is still amongst the most reliable vehicles out there. Plus, the hybrid model offers a 1.6-liter Turbo 4 engine paired with an electric motor, which combined produced almost 240 HP, a tad more than the RAV4 Hybrid. In addition to that, the Hybrid, unlike the RAV4, utilizes a 6-speed automatic gearbox instead of a boring old CVT, which translates into a much nicer ride on the open road, as well as a higher towing capacity due to better torque delivery and greater torque figures. That said, it will do 38 mpg in the city and on the highway, which is a little bit less than the RAV4. However, we think that the trade-off for the added capability is well worth it. But not everybody needs a middle-of-the-pack SUV, as they might be too big. If that's you, then don't worry, we've got a smaller one next up. Number 4. Kia Nero. The Kia Nero has always been one of the most sensible purchases in the subcompact crossover segment, and the hybrid only amplifies that further. The Kia Nero offers an urban-friendly package with a nicely designed exterior for a very affordable price. First of all, the Nero's powertrain consists of a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder. However, unlike the Tucson, this engine isn't turbocharged. And while that means less power, it also means that the engine will be cheaper to maintain and fix if anything goes wrong. In combination, the engine and the electric motor give out around 140 HP, which is far from peppy. But you really won't need more than that for city driving and a periodical cruise on the motorway when necessary. Heck, half of Europe still drives sub-150 HP vehicles regularly, so why shouldn't you, especially around town? And even if you do decide to go out on the motorway, you'll be delighted to know that the transmission isn't a CVT, but a dual-clutch unit. While it can be a bit more aggressive while shifting, it manages to deliver CVT levels of economy while functioning as a regular automatic gearbox. Speaking of fuel economy, the Nero Hybrid can do up to 53 mpg around town and up to 54 on the highway, which is phenomenal. In addition to that, the interior of the Kia Nero is the best one in the business, being very similar to its bigger brother, the Sportage, in terms of tech and layout. Speaking of the Sportage, number 3, Kia Sportage. For all intents and purposes, the Kia Sportage is just a more affordable version of the Hyundai Tucson. However, despite being more affordable, it's nothing less impressive than its somewhat more premium brother. The Sportage comes with the same powertrain as its Hyundai cousin, that being a 1.6-liter Turbo 4 paired with an automatic gearbox. However, unlike the Tucson, which has AWD as standard, you can get the Sportage with both an AWD drivetrain and an FWD drivetrain, the latter of which offers a considerable price decrease, while also increasing MPG significantly. The Sportage, equipped with standard FWD, will be good for up to 42 mpg around town and up to 44 on the highway, which is amazing. And realistically speaking, do you really need AWD in a crossover? It's just a regular car with an increased ride height. It's not like you'll go mud running with it. And while yes, the Sportage is a tad worse in terms of interior quality compared to its Hyundai counterpart, the fact that it costs 3 to 4K less to begin with more than makes up for that. So, if you're on a budget, don't hesitate to go for the Sportage. That said, if you want something bigger, we've got just the car for you. Number 2, Toyota Crown Signia. The Toyota Crown Signia, despite its lukewarm entry into the US market, is in our opinion one of the best midsize SUVs on the market, and by far the best hybrid of them all. First of all, the Crown Signia is truly a stealth wealth type of vehicle. The exterior is unbelievably elegant and well designed, and everything about it just looks and feels very old school luxurious. The interior is even better, as you get a slew of standard features that you won't see on considerably more expensive models, such as leather seats as standard, Toyota's Safety Sense 3.0, heated and ventilated seats, and many more. Plus, the powertrain of the Crown Signia is something we adore the most. You get the same 2.5-liter engine you get with the RAV4, just with a bit more oomph that allows it to be thriftier both around town and on the open road. You also get a CVT gearbox, which assures good MPG. However, we think that an automatic gearbox would have been a better choice to make the Crown Signia just that bit more versatile, and that is our only complaint with it. That said, it more than makes up for it, as the Crown Signia does up to 39 mpg around town and up to 37 mpg on the open road, which is just 2 mpg less than the far smaller RAV4. All in all, the Crown Signia is by far the most sensible choice out of all midsize SUVs, and it represents an alternative to Lexus for those of us who don't like to flaunt our wealth. Number 1, Toyota Corolla Cross. Toyota is the king of hybrids, and out of all their models, we just can't help but call the Corolla Cross Hybrid the best of them all. No matter what others tell you, 90% of us don't need a vehicle bigger or better than the Toyota Corolla Cross, as it manages to do everything exceptionally well and for an incredibly attainable price. The Toyota Corolla Cross has a relatively bland exterior design, which ironically makes it stand out from the crowd of crossovers that overcompensate their flaws by over-designing. The interior layout is extremely conventional. Everything has been made to keep working and remain in place for years and miles to come, and there is nothing that has been made more complicated than it needs to be. Finally, the powertrain consists of a 2.0 hybrid powertrain combined with an electric motor, with the engine powering the front and the motor powering the rear wheels, giving you AWD as standard. Combined, they produce 196 HP, which is incredibly impressive for a subcompact crossover, and will be more than enough for any kind of usage, open road or city. The Toyota Corolla Cross also grants its user 45 mpg around town and 38 mpg on the open road, which, while not medal-worthy, is still more than enough for most. And while the Corolla Cross might be undercut in terms of either pricing or fuel economy by other options, none of them will grant the owner the same level of reliability, predictability, and build quality the Corolla Cross does.